This happened 3 summers ago, deep in the forests of northern Montana. I was part of a group of 4 hikers, me, my girlfriend Anna, and our friends Mike and Sarah. We loved camping in remote areas, away from people where the stars look close enough to touch. But that trip changed the way I see the woods forever. And even now, I still hear that voice sometimes. We started our hike around noon. It was an old, green, 2-person tent, half collapsed, looking like someone had left in a real hurry. But the detail that made my blood run cold was the campfire next to it. Hanging over the fire was a small pot of stew, still warm. Someone had been here just moments ago. Anna whispered, "Maybe they're just nearby, gathering wood or something." We started calling out, "Hello? Anyone here?" But the only answer was the sound of the wind rustling through the trees. Mike, ever the brave one, pulled out his flashlight and cautiously approached the tent. The beam of his flashlight revealed a sleeping bag, neatly rolled up clothes, a half-eaten granola bar, and a smartphone sitting on top of a small notebook. It looked like someone just stepped out for a minute. But they hadn't come back. Mike picked up the notebook and opened it. Most of the pages were filled with typical journal entries about the trail and the beauty of the wilderness. But the very last entry was different. The handwriting was frantic, almost illegible. It said, "It keeps circling the tent. I can hear it breathing. If I don't make it till morning, whoever finds this, don't follow the voice." Sarah, who had been looking over his shoulder, asked, "What voice?" The forest, which had seemed so welcoming just an hour ago, now felt menacing, like it was watching us. For a moment, nobody moved. The only sound was our own breathing. Then, Mike, still holding the phone from the tent, broke the silence. He pressed the power button, and the screen lit up. It was still recording audio. He hit play. At first, it was just static, the faint crackle of the campfire. Then, we heard it again, the same whisper from the recording, chillingly clear this time. Please, don't leave me." It was followed by the sound of a man's breathing, quick and panicked. We heard the crunch of leaves under his feet, as if he was running. And then there was a sudden, deafening silence. The last sound on the recording was a deep, guttural growl. Something that didn't sound like any animal I'd ever heard. And after that, nothing. Just silence. Sarah was the first to speak. Her voice was trembling. "We need to leave now." She was right, of course. Every instinct in my body was screaming at me to run. But the sun had completely set by now. The trail we had followed to get here was barely visible during the day. In the pitch black of the forest night, it was completely gone. Getting lost in these woods after dark was just as dangerous as whatever was out there. We were trapped. We made a difficult decision. We decided to stay put right by the river and wait until the first light of morning. We built up our own fire, keeping it roaring bright, hoping it would keep whatever was out there at bay. I can tell you, none of us really slept. I sat with my back against a tree, jumping at every snap of a twig, every hoot of an owl. At around 2 in the morning, when the fire was burning low, Anna shook me awake. Her eyes were wide with fear. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. And then I heard it too. It was the sound of footsteps, slow, deliberate, circling our campsite. Just like the man had written in the notebook. Just like we heard on the recording. Then the whisper came again. But this time it was clearer and much, much closer. "Come out. I'm cold." But here's the most terrifying part. It wasn't just one voice anymore. It sounded like dozens of people, all whispering the same words in a horrifying, overlapping chorus. Mike, fueled by adrenaline and fear, grabbed his powerful flashlight and shined it directly toward the sound. For just a split second, the beam caught something. It was a shadow standing just beyond the trees, impossibly tall and unnaturally still. We couldn't make out many details, but its face didn't look human. That's all it took. We didn't scream. We didn't hesitate. We just ran. We scrambled down the riverbank, stumbling over rocks and roots in the dark, not daring to look back. We just followed the course of the river, hoping it would eventually lead us somewhere. The sounds of the forest at night were terrifying, but the silence behind us was even worse. By the time the sun started to rise, painting the sky in shades of gray and orange, we finally stumbled out onto a dirt road. We were exhausted, scratched up, and utterly terrified, but we were alive. When we looked back, the forest was completely silent. There was no sign of the clearing, no smoke from a campfire, no tall, shadowy figure. It was as if the entire night had been a terrible nightmare. 2 days later, after we got back to civilization, we went to the local sheriff's office to report what we'd seen. The sheriff listened to our story patiently, but he didn't seem surprised. He told us that people had gone missing in that same area of the forest for years, mostly hikers and campers. All of them vanished near the same spot. He pulled out a binder of missing person files and showed us their photos. And that's when my heart stopped. One of the photos was of the man whose face was on the wallpaper of the phone we found. His case file read, "Last seen, July 2020. Declared missing. Never found." Sometimes I still think about that night, about the chorus of whispers, and especially about the words scrawled in that notebook. It keeps circling the tent. I can hear it breathing if you find this. Because even now, when the wind blows through the trees late at night, I swear I can still hear it calling my name. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.